Jimmy Wanjigi has been arrested once again, and I'm just wondering what's wrong with the government being told the truth. That is so bad about it. We need to advance and be talking about what is happening in our country. Like for instance, yesterday also the people or YouTubers, TikTokers, all the media people and Gen Z in large who went to stand out with a direction, incident guys were being forced. They were tear gas and forced to move out from that particular place as fast as possible. It was not light. It is not light, but we are going to fight for our lives till the end. This was the most or things that happened yesterday. My good name is Anthony Jenga, and this is Eve Media Kenya, the number one online TV. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what is ailing our country. Lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge is so bad that a whole president seeing that someone, if it seems like he is going to be a threat coming 2027, he just kicks you out, start harassing you out. It is not okay. It is not good at all, because you are trying to get the attention of Kenyans by harassing Jimmy Wanjigi. Okay, Jimmy Wanjigi is a fellow politician who wants to run for presidential candidate coming 2027. And you know what? The campaign has to start now. You have to be with the people on the ground. And the real war has started. And that's why you are saying it is a different campaign model that you are not being used to do. Because, this is so new to us. I have not been able to see, a campaign without Raila Amolo Odinga, which is so advanced. And by the way, talking about Raila Amolo Odinga, do you know that he has handed over to Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o, professor, to be leading this particular ODM party, which is a very good and phenomenal thing. Looking at that, I think for the first time, ODM is going to be, led by an intellectual, a professor, because Raila Amolo Odinga was an engineer. He was a learned fellow. He understands a lot about politics, and also do Anyang' Nyong'o become. And I tend to remember. Do you know, guys, that Anyang' Nyong'o is a refugee in Mexico? Do you know that? 16 years ago is the time that Professor Anyang' Nyong'o returned to the country after being away for the last 20 years. So right now we can definitely say that 6 years ago, Anyang' Nyong'o was a refugee in Mexico. He went to hide there after these political battles here and there. And it was just a by the way. I'm not going to teach you the whole history, because not everyone loves history, but I love it. So ODM is going to be led by Anyang' Nyong'o, the professor. And also looking at that particular matter very closely and very clearly, you know what? I tend to think that particular party is now thinking the way forward, because Raila Amolo Odinga is not going to be on ballot coming 2027 if he wins the AU seat, which we tend to think that he will definitely win. And if he could win that particular seat, I could feel happy, because Kenya's politics will have advanced in the next level. We have been stuck in this particular place for a long time. No one is talking about it, but that is the truth of the matter. We have been stuck in this particular place for a long time. No one is talking about it. No one is, even engaging in that particular thing. But you know what? ipo siku. We keep saying this each and every particular day, that ipo siku, meaning there will come a day where these particular bad politics that have been happening in our country will mature up and advance, move to the next stage. I'm talking about the world stage. That is it. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those people who are asking that I'm struggling with my son, okay, I have some cold. I was infected by that particular cold. I don't know what, because my lungs are not feeling so okay, but it's been a long time without me getting involved in those colds and stuff. But it is just going to heal up. Yeah, it's going to be definitely okay, and a small headache here light, and yeah, so I'm going to slow a bit, but let me tell you, I'll never slow a bit. Maybe someone was waiting for that. I'm not going so a bit, but yesterday I was not able to make as many vlogs as possible. I was not able to make a lot of it because I had that particular feeling, a bad feeling. You have that bad feeling when you have that particular cold, and you'll be like, oh no, should I do this and this? So I left roaming just around here, left, right, and center, watching what is going to happen in the country. And you know what? Last day I didn't create. So one thing that I'm so careful with it right now is not to drink water. Let me give you this scenario. Maybe someone is saying, you are giving us stories half up. Okay, let me tell you this. I usually drink hot water each and every particular moment. So yesterday I missed hot water. And each time that you feel that, you are so thirsty, and when you take water, you feel thirsty again, just know that it is a cold that is learning to you. It is just learning. It comes to those particular moments, but you have to take care. And if I remember, for the last particular 2 months, there is a cold that is so similar to corona. It's so similar to COVID-19, by the way, and people are just saying it is bad. But I was very lucky that in those particular old times I was not infected with that particular cold, but we interacted with these particular guys for the longest. And right now, the way I'm feeling, it's so bad. I'm feeling disgusted, like someone who has malaria. I was just feeling the bad feeling. The feeling is not being realized. The feeling imekuwa boring. Yeah, because my sound has changed, and I don't love to have that particular so much bass in my sound. You sound like each and every particular day you are doing it like in the morning time. I love to have that particular soft sound, my original voice on me, because I'm able to explain things better. But you know what? It's going to end up. So I was telling me, so when I'm suffering a cold, I cannot take water, because when I take water, it becomes worse, and my voice becomes, like that, and I don't like that. So for me to those are the struggles that really happen to those journalists, to those podcasters, each and every particular time. Guys, do you realize this, that when a news person suffers from a cold, he or she just disappeared all of a sudden until he or she heals? That's the most particular time that you really miss this particular, news anchor. Each and every particular time you will see that today is someone who leads the news, but he's not there anymore. Sometimes you tend to think that someone is the one who leads the podcast, and right now he is not there anymore. Do you know, we should say that we as journalists, news are our weapons. we tend to use our voice, we tend to use our mouth, because our mouth is the real deal, and it is what Kenyans tune to watch each and every particular day. So I'm just still wondering, what is the government doing with harassing Jimmy Wanjigi? You just leave this particular guy to be. You just keep on saying that he was involved, I was having some goodness, was having this and this and this. It is not fair. Mr. President, for you to run this particular country in a very democratic way, you just need to shut up. Focus on your agenda on coming 2027 and let other people be. Let them engage in politics, left, right, and center. It is upon their choice. I have now seen that is it 56 or at most it is 60 members of parliament have disagreed with the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, and they have decided to appoint the cabinet secretary of Interior Kithure Kindiki to be their representative or the get through to the president. And that is termed like a uchokozi, because that is pure uchokozi. Because how can you say that Kithure Kindiki is your own leader and dismiss Rigathi Gachagua? It's total mercilessly. And I tend to think that is William Ruto behind all these particular shenanigans, and say, you know what, nyinyi watu wa mulima nyinyi mutanitambua when it comes 2027. I tend to think that is the real deal about it, because I don't see any other way where the president comes out to try and disagree with his deputy in the public. But for the first time, we are seeing these particular things happening, and we definitely know Ruto. Ruto just does that. It is his own thing, just disrespecting his minors in part. It is the same thing, because I tend to remember during the campaign period when he was going to choose between Kithure Kindiki and Rigathi Gachagua. People were so amused, and even the members of parliament who are just right now rioting, they were against him appointing Rigathi Gachagua. They were there to support Kithure Kindiki. But do you know one simple thing? If Kithure Kindiki was to be appointed for that particular position of being a deputy president, the Ruto government could not have entered. In fact, people of Nyeri, being at large, could have voted against that. And do you mean the gap between Ruto and this particular Raila Amolo Odinga was 200,000 votes? Those could have come out from Mount Kenya, and people could have turned against that and say that, you know what, enough is enough. You are not going to lead in that particular direction. But let me say this: if they are going to go with the pair of Ruto and Kithure Kindiki, or Ruto and someone else, maybe it can work. Like maybe Ruto is targeting like this because he is not depending on Kikuyus again. He is depending on this particular trio, appointing Mudavadi as his deputy president and him running for the president, and also appointing Kithure Kindiki for the chief prime minister. And that could mess the country big time, because they tend to think that people from Western could come on board and vote for this particular guy. But you know what? I tend to disagree with that and tend to say that this pair also might work. It can work definitely, because in politics there is no enmity and everything is possible in politics. I tend to think this particular card will play better. The card of Jimmy Wanjigi, supported by the Gen Z and Anyang' Nyong'o. All in Jimmy Wanjigi and Fred Matiang'i. That particular ticket could work definitely perfect. In fact, that of Jimmy Wanjigi and Matiang'i and also the likes of Kembas on board, Mutahi Kagwe, those particular good there guys will definitely win, because we look at this particular in this particular direction. We just know and just realize politics is just not a normal game anymore. Everyone has opened their eyes. So if they could be able to get into this particular matter seriously, go on the ground and convince people that, we are the new day, Fagia water. They have been messing our country. We have to change it for the betterment and for the good of our country. It could definitely work. And people will vote out the Ruto's government out, because everyone is tired about it, and everyone is just saying, you know what, we are tired of these particular taxes. And if Jimmy Wanjigi, because he is so smart, he is so intellectual about politics, and whatever happens on the ground, he will come up with a very different plan that will be selling good ideas to the people and saying, you know what, I was the guy who was behind the construction of SGR. I have been the guy who is, vulnerable in these particular commons projects in the country. I can be able to do better and to do more and lessen the burden on Mwananchi. You know what? Sorry, my voice tend to be becoming so and deeper some particular times, but we have to cope up with these particular things. So I tend to think that Jimmy Wanjigi, if he convince people on the ground better, it will definitely be an answer. Hapa itakuwa mteremko kwenda sana. So Ruto is against Jimmy Wanjigi because Jimmy Wanjigi threatened to expose the filthy deeds of William Samoei Ruto with Adani International Company for, because Ruto wanted, that is President Ruto wanted Adani Group to take over the airport and all the 14 airstrips and airports, and when you look at that particular, you'll be like, this is corruption. And also, do you know that Ruto or the president had ordered 7 Boeing 747? Do you know how long that particular plane is? So huge. It is huge. It is massive. And William Ruto wanted to just be part of that particular, wanted to invest in that particular company. And I was like, damn, this particular guy is just thinking on how he could use his particular country to make money. He is not thinking about this particular country could be helped to come out of the debt problem. It is quite sad. It is definitely quite sad. And when Jimmy Wanjigi tried to threaten about that, he was like, God damn, you want to expose this? I'm not going to allow you. Not in my country anymore. That was really. And talking about that, talking and explaining about that. Yesterday there was those particular YouTubers, the Gen Z, the TikTokers, the Facebookians, the X-Marians, and Instagrammers. So they went out to Endarasha Hillside Academy, where they wanted to riot, and chance that they are against the impunity, the injustice that has been going on through at that particular school. And you know what? Police waliitwa jamani, and when police were being called, or when police arrived, they started to tear gas these particular young media personalities and telling them, you know what, this is not the right place to do this, because the Gen Z movement is so powerful. It is so powerful that it can be able to make these investigations run faster. And you know what? The activists who are right there was Casmuel Makori, because Casmuel Makori has been the talk of the town for the last few days. He has been everywhere, just talking about what should be done in the country. In fact, it's one of the best things, and people have to fight for their rights. And I don't see the need of dispersing the crowd at that particular school. You know what? Because people are there to fight and find the truth. You don't have to fight the truth. You have to address the truth. You know what? It has been a very good conversation right now. My good Miss Anthony Jenga, and this is Eve Media Kenya, the number one online TV. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Until the next one, guys. Adios, peace, muchachos for now. And before that, make sure you subscribe to Eve Media Kenya News and Eve Media Kenya Live, and also subscribe to this main channel. I'm talking about Eve Media Kenya channel, and don't forget to follow us at all social media platforms, that is at Eve Media Kenya. Any day, any time. Watu wangu wa power, si wapambe tena zaidi. See you in the next one.